Hello everybody, my name is Colin39. Welcome back to another video. Today in this one is going to be another tier list video, and in this one it's going to be my tier list on meta decks post April 2025 ban list. Yeah, it's still very early in the format right now. It's only been a week since the ban list has dropped, but we have had a couple of regionals that happened this past weekend actually, and I actually put a screenshot of a pie chart that should be on screen right now of all the topping decks that happened this past weekend. As you can clearly see, the best one right now, the best overall performing one is Malice, followed by Blue Eyes, and then Ryzel, and then a bunch of other decks following after that. I do believe this is pretty much a diverse format. Yes, you will have your better decks that are in this format, but I think this format is very diverse when it comes to what what we had in the past, where like Snake Eyes has been like a tier 0 deck and stuff like that. I think this format is pretty diverse. So yeah, without further ado, let's actually get into the tier list itself, shall we? So we'll start off with tier 1, then 1.5, then tier 2, then Rogue, and then obviously the bad portions of the deck as well. So we're going to start off with our tier 1 deck, and obviously we're going to go to the one that's been performing the overall best, and that has been Malice. Malice has had the best success so far, which is kind of wild because when you actually look at the ban list, it looks like it's been hit the hardest on the ban list. Like Link Decoder is banned now, Griffin is banned, Dormouse and White Rabbit are at 2 as well. But the only thing that I think Malice is really good for is, one, a lot of people know that the good support in Alliance Insight is coming up, so they probably want to just like play with Malice for the next month or so while they wait for the Alliance Insight support to come out. But number 2, even though it got hit a lot, to be honest with you, Malice is still pretty good. It never necessarily needed the Griffin lock to pretty much do its combo. It was just something it could do. There's like different end boards, like SP and Heart Cryptor is still a very powerful end field as well. And even though it did lose a couple of consistency pieces like the Dormouse and the White Rabbit and even Underground going to 2 as well, it's still pretty decent. The fact that they are Cybers makes it like Silent Mine. You can still search them if you really want to, but it can also play different engines like Fiendsmith in it as well, and Castria has been played with this as well. So even though it looked like it got hit the hardest on the ban list, it's been performing really well, as long as you can still get to, the combo of getting to like a White Rabbit or the White Binder, sorry, with like the traps and even getting to a Heart Cryptor, you're still pretty much really good to go. I think the grind match is probably a little bit better than Ryzel is right now, just because Ryzel did lose a lot. And if you can get rid of the cross in Ryzel, they pretty much lose their follow-up, while with Malice, he doesn't really need the follow-up, because if he can get to a turn 3, it's pretty much just going to OTK you anyway. So I think a lot of people are just expecting the Alliance Insight support to come out, so they're wanting to play with the deck, but so far it's been performing the best so far, and honestly I'm not surprised by that as well. The next one in tier 1 has been a surprising one. Blue Eyes has been shot up to one of the better deck, the second best deck according to the pie chart that we just saw earlier in the format, which again, not surprised by, because I've been playing this with my sealed only. Like obviously I have my sealed only stuff, and I'm not playing the Primite stuff, but like the Blue Eye stuff in general is still very, very solid. But when you throw the Primite stuff in there and having like the drill beams and stuff like that, it just makes the deck really, really good. It's one of those decks that doesn't really lose to any of the Charmies either. Like Pirellia, you'll give them like a draw, but you can still pretty much get to your field. Fool Ross is kind of the same situation. You can give them a draw, but pretty much still get to the same combo. As long as you can get to the Majesty with a couple traps, the Majesty with like a drill beam, you're pretty much in a good position with this deck. And I think that's the reason why this deck has been performing so well. It's like a very low to the ground kind of list, but its grind match is very insane, especially with the Primite stuff as well. In a sense, it just didn't get hit in the ban list. I think a lot of people just chose like it's a cheaper deck as well. I guess the Primite stuff isn't as cheap, but like the Blue Eye stuff itself is pretty cheap as well. So a lot of people just tend to going towards Blue Eyes for this, and it's still a very solid choice for tier 1 as well. And I think honestly that is it for the tier 1 decks. I think there will be a lot of decks in tier 1.5 and tier 2s. The tier 1.5 and tier 2 decks will still compete with the tier 1 decks, but I think a lot of the tier 1 decks, I think a lot of people are just going to be on these decks for the next couple weeks until Alliance Insight comes out, obviously. So we'll go and move down to tier 1.5, and I think this is where Ryzel falls to. I think Pure is probably the best. I think Mitsuragi follows, and the Fiendsmith, surprisingly, we'll do it like this. But yeah, I think the Ryzel deserves to be in 1.5. Maybe you can argue like them being still a tier 1 deck. I would still very much agree with you to put this in a tier 1 deck, because Ryzel is still a really good deck. A Detonator is there, but like having every named 2, the consistency does matter, and I think that's the reason why the Fiendsmith version is a little bit worse, because like to improve your consistency, you want to play like 7 Tachyons and stuff like that, where if you play the 7 Tachyons, you just lose out on the Fiendsmith stuff, which is kind of unfortunate. So I think that's the reason why like Pier and the Mitsuragis might be a little bit better than it. But obviously, if you can still get to the full end build of like the Detonator and like the Detonator cross, like if you're playing the other engines as well, getting to there like a DDD plus the Lacrimosa Engrave or the Mitsuragis, like the Trap plus the Ritual, still a very insane field. But it's just a little bit worse. The consistency is just a little bit worse, especially when like Castria Unicorns has been playing a lot in this format as well. I think hitting that Detonator is just very impactful as well. Once you lose that Detonator, you probably lose that game pretty much on the spot. But I think it's still a very solid deck, so I'm going to put it in 1.5 for sure. Anything else I want to put in 1.5 before I move on? Yes, Odeon. I think Odeon is a very solid choice for this next format as well. It was gaining popularity before the ban list even came out. I think after the ban list, especially since Fiendsmith didn't get hit, a lot of people probably towards like, okay, I want to actually play this deck. Again, a little bit more of a control deck. The Fiendsmith stuff helps it boost like its or speeds up its like OTK potential, but like it's very much still like a control heavy deck. You want to take a couple turns and then just outgrind your opponent, which is very easy to do with this deck because you have the fusions to reset all the traps and stuff like that. And you also have the Fiendsmith stuff for the grind match as well. So I think this is a very solid 1.5. Again, it was already good going in before the ban list, and then after the ban list, I think it's just a very solid choice as well. Anything else I want to put in 1.5 before we move to tier 2? A Memento, yeah, no. Memento is pretty good as well. I think Memento deserves to be in 1.5 as well. This is just a very solid deck, to be honest with you. The Fiendsmith stuff, obviously, is just the Fiendsmith stuff. The fact that Fiendsmith just didn't get hit, you'll probably just see Fiendsmith pretty much everywhere right now. Memento also just, again, it just won a YCS. It didn't win it with Fiendsmith, or at least I don't think it won it with Fiendsmith. It won it with like the Goblin Biker package, but Memento is still very, very solid deck. The Fusion being able to pop cards, if you're playing like the Break Trap, it's cool, but I think the Memento Fusion is really good as well. I think this deck is just a very solid choice for this format as well, so I'm going to put it in 1.5 as well. Anything else I want to put in the 1.5? Kind of just looking at it, like, I want to put this here, Castria, like Fiendsmith, because I think the cash engine is really, really good going into this next format. I really do believe that, just because the Unicorn being able to rip like a Detonator or even like a White Binder from the extra deck is going to be really, really solid. I wish this had a little bit more oomph to it. Oh my god, to fix this, please, thank you. I wish this had a little bit more oomph to it, like just being able to like just do the Fiendsmith stuff and then like cash just to have extra bodies. I think if you throw like another supplemental engine in here, maybe like a Magical Muskets or something like that, it could be solid. I don't know. I want to put this here, but I'm more leaning towards just to put this in tier 2 for now. I think I don't know. You can argue for either or. I think I'm fine with either or. I'm going to put it at the top of tier 2 to start off our tier 2s. I think also the Bestial Fiendsmith is kind of in the same situation as the Cash Fiendsmith. I think the Cash engine is just a little bit better than the Bestial engine is, especially since Druiswarm got limited to 1. It's still very solid. I think if you combine all 3 of them together, it could be solid. But I think these are just, you need a third supplemental engine for them. And I think that's where, if I just saw it, the Tempai engine comes in. This has the Bestial stuff. I think the Cash is probably better than the Bestial stuff again, so I'll probably put this up here. But I also think this is a very solid thing. Tempai is one of those things that's just a nuclear bomb. If you like waste all their interruptions, okay, normal summon Pydra, offer handshake, that's the game, right? Because they have no more interruptions and the Tempai is just going to OTK them, which is why the Tempai stuff is actually really, really good still. I don't think it's like tier 1.5, but I definitely do believe that it's a tier 2 deck for sure as well. Other tier 2 decks, Labyrinth deserves to be in here as well. This was doing really well at the YCS, and I think this probably has a couple good tops in this past weekend as well, regionals. Labyrinth, just a very overall, just again, another grind match. The traps, being able to take advantage of its power traps. Butler being a dumb card is really, really fun as well. But the only problem with this is like Ash exists, like being able to Ash the big, like even like Impulse, like a lot of, I guess some decks, Impulse got a little bit worse in this format, but like Impulse I think still also hits this. But this deck also is able to play Impulse as well. But I think this is a tier 2 deck for sure. Anything else I want to put in tier 2? I think we have a lot of tier 2 decks, honestly. Not gonna lie. I think Yugioh deserves to be in a tier 2 strategy. The only thing I hate about Yugioh right now is it does lose to the Fulra, the Fulwalos, and even like Pirellia can somewhat hit it as well. I think that's kind of the main problem with this. And then going second, it's a little bit rough as well. But like, I think the main problem is like Fuad is a big ass problem for this deck. So I think that's why I think it belongs in tier 2. Anything else in tier 2? Oh, Mermail. I don't know why I was thinking so long about Mermail. Mermail, it has a couple tops this past weekend. But I think it's just a lot worse. Again, the Bahamut Shark just being banned really does hurt because Toad was just very good for this deck. But yeah, I think this just gets a little bit worse. It's still solid. Like, if you're a solid pilot with it, I still think you can do really well with this. But like, again, I think that's with any deck in tier 2 to tier 1. If you're a solid pilot with any of these decks, I think you do really well with it. But I don't know. Mermail just got a lot worse just because of the Bahamut Shark ban. But I'm not going to put it any lower than tier 2, though. Anything else I want to put in tier 2? I think the White Forest stuff deserves to be in tier 2 as well. As a Mina or Fiendsmith, doesn't really matter. As long as it's just White Forest stuff, I think belongs in tier 2, which is cool. This does a lot. It can push through a lot. I don't know. I think this deck, I don't know. I really want to like this deck. I know people are really good with it. Like, the people that like goes and one tricks this deck are really, really, really fucking good with this deck. And just, I don't know. I don't think I deserve to be in like 1.5s and stuff. I think tier 2 is a probably fine enough spot for it as of right now. Anything else I want to put in tier 2? Oh, Crystron. Yeah, Crystron got a lot better. Crystron Shifter going to 1 is a really good. Now, this was like a rogue deck in the last format. I think it gets a little better in this format going to tier 2. Still has a lot of problems. Lancia is still being played in this format, and it does lose to Lancia. Droll is somewhat of a problem with this deck, depending on what it opens up as well. And also, it's one of those things when I've tested with the deck, I wish it can do more. Like, everything is like there when it comes to like main deck stuff, but when it comes to extra deck stuff, there's just like not that much there. You can still work with a lot of it. Like, Infinity is still an Omni negate. FA Dawn Stratature is still a spell trap negate, and that's not a once per turn. So if you're able to set up multiple, it's cool. And also, this boss monster is really cool as well. I think it banishes cards or pops cards. It does something on the field when it's summoned, and you can summon it during your opponent's turn as well. But I wish it could just do a little bit more. I wish it had a little bit oomph to it, but I think it's still really good as well. Anything else I want to put in tier 2? I think that is it. Unchained. Okay. This is one. Oh, wait. Sorry. Blue Eyes Alistair. Yeah, this deserves to be in tier 2. I don't think it's as good as the Primite stuff with Blue Eyes. I think the Alistair is still very decent, but I think the Primite stuff is just a little bit better than it. But it's still Blue Eyes, and Alistair being able to, or the Invoker stuff being able to get to a Mechaba and stuff like that isn't terrible either. So I'll put this in tier 2 as well. I also want to put Unchained in here. I'm a big Unchained fan. I went to a Denver Regional this past weekend, and I did play Unchained. It didn't go well because it has the same problem as Yugioh does, and if you get Fluid and you don't have an out to it, you fucking lose. You just straight up you just lose. There's nothing you can really do with that about it. I really want to put this in tier 2, but I think it deserves to be in Rogue more. It does have a couple tops as well, though. I think it has like 1 or 2 tops on that pie chart, if I'm not mistaken. So, like, I don't know. I'll put it at the top of Rogue. I really do want to like this deck. As a Charbonneir going to 2 does matter quite a lot. I think it does have that potential as well. I think you just have to figure out the Fua problem. A lot of people have been just main decking Droll because this deck does not search whatsoever. So if you get Fua, they draw a card, you Droll them, and you still go combo anyways, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I'm going to put this in Rogue for now, because it's also a deck you have to play the Fiendsmith stuff as well. A lot of people are playing the Magical Musket stuff with it as well. And it's somewhat bricky as well, because you're playing the brick traps, and like a lot of the main like Samsara and like a bomb aren't necessarily the greatest to draw either. So yeah, I think it's just a Rogue deck. I'm going to put it in, even though I love it so much. Fire King. This is a little bit of a rush choice. I guess this can go into tier 2, actually. I guess, yeah, this deserves to be in tier 2. It's a structure deck. People have been topping with it, just playing like the pure version of the deck. I think it's very solid, being able to use the Promethean, and like it's one of the few decks that can still use like the Snake Eyes package and stuff like that as well. I think this is a very solid deck as well, but I think it's only a tier 2 deck. Centurion, I think it's a rogue deck. It's kind of just fallen all the way off. Yeah, I don't think this really deserves to be anywhere else. Chimera Fiendsmith, I really do like this deck. I like the playstyle of this deck. I just don't think it's any higher right now. Maybe you can argue tier 2, but I think it's a rogue deck. Same thing with Branded. I really do like Branded. The people that one-trick Branded are really, really, really good with it, but I think it's just a rogue deck for now. Yeah, obviously, fuck, what is this deck called again? Oh, why am I... Oh my god, I'm having a brain fart. What is this? Oh, what is this deck called? Oh my god, why am I not remembering this? Oh, what the fuck is this deck called? Oh my god, there's no way I forgot this deck. Ritual Beast. Okay, there we go. Figured it out. Okay, Ritual Beast. Again, it's in Rogue for me because, again, Lantia is still being played hello right now, which this deck just loses to Lantia. Its Shifter just got limited to 1, which is going to really hurt them as well. Like, I just don't think this is necessarily the greatest in the world. Like, Droll is also, like, I don't know if this Droll does as much, but I think Droll does do something against this deck as well. Voiceless Voice, I think, is also in Rogue as well. I really do want to like this deck, but I think the Mitsuragi stuff is just way better than the Voiceless Voice ever could be. But again, it's just more of a low to the ground kind of deck, which is not, you know, the best thing for me. I think that's really much it when it comes to Rogue as well. Everything else goes to bad tier. Exodia, I'm sorry, you're just bad. I mean, nothing you can say. Hey, True Draco, you got Masterpiece back. I don't think it matters though. I have a person like at locals that's been playing this deck, and it's just not good. It's just not there. I wish it can do more. Like Masterpiece feels like it's an unbeatable asshole, but you realize like, oh, anything with 3k can just beat this. So like a detonator can beat it, like an access code can beat it. Like a lot of things can beat this card now, which is like why I think it's really bad. Flunder, like this is always a deck that like I think it's Rogue, but it lost Shifter as well. I just don't think it's really the greatest. I'll put it at the top of bad, but I think it's still like not a good deck. Mimighoul, I shouldn't hate on Mimighoul. No, I'm not hating on Mimighoul. Mimighoul, you deserve to go to Rogue. You are a Rogue deck for sure. I love you with the Fiendsmith stuff, even though not that many people play the Fiendsmith stuff with it. I love him with the Fiendsmith stuff. I think this deck is really, really cool. Does lose to Droll though, which is really what sucks. Hero, I don't know. I feel like Hero's always been bad. Like it's like, again, the people that can one trick it are decent with it. I just don't think it's necessarily the greatest in the world. And then Sharks, my boy, how they massacred my boy, how the Bahamut Shark ban was supposed to hit Mermail, but it hit Shark so much more harder than that. Oh my god, did the Bahamut Shark do everything for Sharks, and they banned it. Now Sharks is just pretty much dead. There's just like nothing you can do with Sharks, which is very unfortunate because I'm a Shark lover. I love Sharks, but goddamn, dude, Bahamut Shark being banned just fucking killed this deck. It's really, really bad now. So yeah, that is my tier list. Your tier 1s are Malice and Blue Eyes. Tier 1.5s is any Rizal version, the Memento, Fiendsmith, and then the Odeon deck. Tier 2 is any, pretty much the rest of the Fiendsmith stuff like Cash or Tempai or Fiendsmith Bestial. Labyrinth there, U-Bell's there, Mermail, or Crystron, the White Force stuff, Blue Eyes Out, or like any other Blue Eyes variants of the deck that isn't playing Primite, I think is a tier 2 deck, and Fire Kings as well as in tier 2. Rogue, I really want to love Unchained, but I think it's just a Rogue deck for now. Does have the potential though to like go up higher, but I think the Fool is a big ass problem for this deck. Centurion, I don't know, I think is a Rogue deck. Same thing with Chimera. Branded, Ritual Beast, Voiceless, and Mimighoul, I think all deserves to be Rogue. All bads. Maybe Flunder deserves to go to Rogue, but I'm going to put it in bad. I think it's pretty much over, especially with Shifter going to 1. Exodia has always not been great. I think, again, True Draco isn't the greatest in the world. Hero is like, whatever. And then Sharks is pretty much dead after the Bahamut Shark hit. So yeah, that is it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe for more content on the channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.